Hey Nicolás, from bus driver to Brooklyn jail. Que caída, bro. Dale perreo. Hey! You started as a bus driver, Chavez little lapdog. Swore revolution, but you just stole the whole damn part. 2024 elections, Gonzalez won big time. But your crew flipped the script, pura falsedad. Cabron, hunger in the streets, soil through the cartel. Let us all spill, you fled the country that fit full of hoes. Tanks on protest, tear gas, dead bodies, prisoners in chains. Not that to snatch you at night, que vaina tan loca, man.
Hey, Hex Nation! How's everybody doing? So, I've been getting DM'd like crazy about this whole Maduro situation. I mean, I think everybody already knows by now, but we've gone into Venezuela and we've taken him. He's going to be indicted in New York. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just get right into it.
In the streets, but Joint Chiefs Chairman General Dan Kane says U.S. forces had practiced maneuvers for months and got the go-ahead from President Trump late Friday night to strike Venezuela and capture Nicolás Maduro. Trump says Maduro was being highly guarded in a presidential palace, but wasn't able to close the door to a safe room. As the United Nations Security Council is set to meet tomorrow on Venezuela,
I'm just catching up on this whole story. So apparently I've seen all these explosions, right? So they came in and they chased him to the safe room and he couldn't get the door closed. That's crazy.
Here's what Ambassador Mike Waltz said to Venezuela's ambassador and the Security Council less than 2 weeks ago.
The United States does not recognize Nicolás Maduro or his cronies as the legitimate government of Venezuela. Nicolás Maduro is a fugitive from American justice. In fact, Maduro and his regime stole the election, and the international community has the receipts. President Trump has been very clear that he is going to use the full power of the United States of America, the full might of the United.
Okay, so this is a hard one because obviously, right, Maduro bad, narco guy, sending drugs over, we've put a bounty on him. I think it was 50 million. But America's laws only extend to America, guys, right? This is international territory, so I don't know. Are we in the business of going to other countries and taking their leaders, just kidnapping them in the night? I mean, that's a good question. I mean, this is going to set precedents, guys. This is going to scare Colombia, that's right next door. Cuba gets a lot of their oil from Venezuela, so this is going to crash Cuba. So I don't even know what's going to happen over there next. Then, you also have Mexico with all these issues. So are we going to go remove leaders from Colombia, from Mexico, from Cuba, and now we're having to run all these different countries? And then what's our allies think about it? So I don't know. I'm all for Maduro being captured and in jail, but at what cost? We know, guys.
United States to take on and eradicate these drug cartels which have operated with impunity in our hemisphere for far too long, and everyone knows it.
Joining us now for a Sunday Morning Futures exclusive, the United States Ambassador to the United Nations, Mike Waltz. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. I think the message you delivered was clear. President Trump has been very clear. I think the people with ties to Venezuela, people who believe in law and order, are cheering in the streets. But you're about to walk into a situation tomorrow at the United Nations where a lot of people don't like a strong President Trump, and they don't like a strong United States of America. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
That's probably true.
Well, first, Jason, I want to salute President Trump as commander-in-chief and our amazing military, special operations operatives, and law enforcement for the bold, decisive, and successful action that they've taken. In terms of the United Nations and the Security Council, Jason, you're going to hear a lot of hand-wringing on Article 2 of the UN Charter, which deals with sovereignty. And I will remind everyone of Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, which is, as we have in the past, which is a nation's inherent right to self-defense. So in this case, you have a drug kingpin, an illegitimate leader, indicted in the United States, coordinating with the likes of China, Russia, Iran, terrorist groups like Hezbollah, pumping drugs, thugs, and weapons into the United States of America, threatening to invade its neighbors, its neighbor Guyana, with one of the largest oil discoveries in the world, is under threat from the Maduro regime. One of the largest refugee crises in the world, larger than even Syria, Jason. And at the end of the day, was the United States, was President Trump just going to let that status quo continue? Absolutely not. He gave
diplomacy. But Maduro, I mean, from what I've seen, he offered to step down. He asked if he could be a general or something else, and Trump's like, no, hell no. I guess he even called Trump begging him, and Trump's like, yeah, that's okay. We're coming to get you. So this is crazy, guys.
Diplomacy a chance. He gave Maduro a chance, but he took decisive action in the interest of the United States, and Maduro will now be prosecuted in federal court.
It is amazing to me the number of people who don't understand that when Donald Trump actually says something, he means it, and he foreshadows it, and it means peace through strength. But I also, Ambassador, thought it was interesting that earlier in the day, before Maduro was captured and taken, that they were actually meeting with the Chinese. What are the Chinese interests there in Venezuela? Why was Venezuela so important to the Chinese?
Well, a number of reasons. One, the Chinese are moving incredibly.
So China sent a delegation to Venezuela earlier that day, and then we come in and take him
aggressively into the Western Hemisphere, into South America. President Trump and Secretary Rubio are pushing back on that hard. But what you've seen is China getting cheap oil, moving in and taking key geography, taking things like ports and rail and food supplies right in our Western Hemisphere, right in Central South America. And this is why, amongst many reasons, this is such a critical national security issue.
I wonder where that face is now. It's probably sitting on Trump's desk. On the Resolute desk.
And to your point, senior Chinese delegation was meeting with Maduro just hours before, and we haven't even started talking about the likes of Hezbollah, Iran, Russia, and others. And here's a bigger picture, Jason, of what President Trump is doing with his foreign policy and the strategic approach here. You now have Argentina moving our way, or is a key ally, Chile moving our way, Paraguay, Honduras. We're taking UN action against the gangs in Haiti with burden sharing there. President Trump knows from the Arctic to our border to Central and South America, our supply chains matter. Our homeland security matters, and we have the food supply, the critical minerals, the energy, you name it.
You know, and why have our other past leaders, why does this not matter to them? And I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about Biden or, well, actually, I'm talking about everybody, right? So Republicans, Democrats, I mean, nobody has done this. Nobody's going after these people. Not like this. You had the drug boats. And then that's the other thing, too. I mean, if you think about, they know everything about Maduro. They know, you know, what he eats, his favorite food, his pets, where he's at. And then they don't think that we'd know what's on the drug boats. You know, it's kind of a tough sell. You know, I think we know a lot more than what a lot of media puts out. So,
for our national security right here in our Western Hemisphere, but it's been ignored by administration after administration, no longer under President Trump.
Yeah, I do like the idea of the Don Rowe doctrine. It rings bells to me. Explain to us how bad, I like the way you framed it, drugs and thugs. That's what Venezuela was bringing into the United States. How bad was that situation? We saw things playing out in Colorado and Tren de Aragua and, you know, crisscrossing this country. But these characters were coming out of Venezuela and doing so on purpose. I mean, that's what the indictment's all about.
Oh, look at this. This is their smuggling routes. So, yeah, a lot of it into Mexico and Mexico up. And then I guess this is where we're taking care of the boats.
Yeah, and that's the strategic shift. President Trump, Stephen Miller, DHS Secretary Noam, and others have made. You know, these groups, Tren de Aragua, Cartel de los Soles, these aren't like, you know, our grandfather's mafia. These are more like ISIS and Al Qaeda with state backing. Maduro was a state.
Now, guys, this is something that I'm a little worried about. Is Trump deadly with foreign policy? And, you know, he did the whole Iran thing. He stopped many wars. He's got this thing going. But one thing that always gets in the way of a lot of things is our court system. Will some judge out there put some sort of stop on this? You know, will he just end up by going through our justice system and walking out the back door over politics? So I can't wait to find out what's going to happen next.
Backer of narco-terrorism. These operatives are some of the most vicious in the world. They're right here in the United States killing Americans, but they have the backing of Venezuela's military and intelligence service, partnered with the Iranians, the Chinese and Russians, and also the Cubans. So enough was enough. Enough with our homeland security being threatened, and the president took that decisive action. And you're hearing, Jason, a lot of, you know, analogies to Iraq and those mistakes of the past. This is much more like Noriega, a convicted narco-terrorist who is now being brought to justice. Panama, which, by the way, is sitting on the UN Security Council right now as a rotating member, is far better for it. Our region, our safety and security for every American will be far better after this action.
Well, the United Nations meeting tomorrow, and you're going to be there, and we'll be watching. Ambassador Mike Waltz, truly appreciate it. Thanks.
Well, I will be watching that United Nations meeting tomorrow. That's going to be crazy. I know China's not happy about this. I know Russia's not happy about this. And then, you know, I think, again, being that Venezuela is the chief exporter of oil to Cuba, they're going to crash. And when they crash, guess who's going to swoop in? You know? And how's Russia going to feel about us, you know, swooping into Cuba? So I think we got a lot of craziness coming up, guys. This is a long one. We're not going to watch all this, but to see what Trump says about the strike. I think most of you guys probably watched this yesterday. I'm just catching up.
Okay, thank you very much. This is big stuff.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you being here.
A little bit low. Maybe turn up a little bit.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II.
You gotta love Trump. Everything he does is of the likes the world has never seen. Every single time.
It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolás Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the
we all remember the al-Baghdadi one.
Obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer.
Yep.
All perfectly executed and done.
Which again, I was all for that. I mean, who wants Iran to have nuclear capabilities? That's crazy. So, and it was surgical, and we're not there anymore, and Iran's kind of playing ball now. So, I think that one worked out well.
No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly, in just a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. It
was dark at night.
Lights of Caracas were largely turned off.
I wonder why. It's probably some EMP play there, or attack on their power grid.
To a certain expertise that we have.
Certain expertise that we have.
It was dark, and it was deadly. But captured along with his wife.
Now, I don't know anything about his wife, so if you guys know, let me know in the chat. Was his wife complicit in anything, or is she just the wife of Maduro and we're taking her in? Let me know.
Cilia Flores, both of whom now face American justice. Maduro and Flores have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Jay Clayton, for their campaign of deadly narco-terrorism against the United States and its citizens. I want to thank the men and women of our military who achieved such an extraordinary success overnight with breathtaking speed, power, precision, and competence. You rarely see anything like it. You've seen some raids in this country that didn't go so well. They were an embarrassment. If you look back to Afghanistan, or if you look back to the Jimmy Carter days, they were different days. We're a respected country again, like never before.
Mm-hmm.
These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out.
Right. Well, obvious.
Just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We had many helicopters, many planes, many people.
We went in, we took the leader of Venezuela and didn't lose a person and didn't have any equipment failures or anything broken. That's nuts, guys.
People involved in that fight. But think of that, not one piece of military equipment was lost, not one service member was, more importantly, killed. The United States military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far.
Definitely.
With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have. And you see that even if you just look at the boats. We've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90%. Each boat kills on average, 25,000 people.
And then with the whole border being shut down the way it is, like they basically militarized our border. High percentage of those drugs aren't coming in either.
We knocked out 97%. And those drugs mostly come from a place called Venezuela. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with...
Translation, Marco's going to be running the country for a while until we get it transitioned.
Somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years.
Yeah.
So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Judicious.
And it has to be judicious.
Okay.
Because that's what we're all about.
I mean, does it? I don't know. I mean, guys, just spitballing here, right? I mean, we have the CIA, you know, we go around, we disappear people, we put them on black sites, right? Does it have to be? Well, I guess, I mean, if you look at like Gitmo, right, we had a lot of people from the Iraq war sitting over in Gitmo, and then, you know, Biden got in and let them all go. So, allegedly, as far as I know. So, I mean, I guess they're not there forever. If you do get a sympathetic ear in office, then they could go. But, I mean, even judicially, if we put him through, we get another president that, you know, let's look at AOC. She's condemning this whole thing, right? So what if she becomes president and is like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pardon Maduro, you know? So I don't know. We need a way to make sure he does not get back to Venezuela and, you know, reclaim power.
We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela. And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland.
Yep.
We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now.
Yeah, prayers to the Venezuelan people. You know, this is be tough for them.
Understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place.
Okay. I think that's the majority of the information. He likes to repeat himself a lot, but, you know, obviously he just acknowledged we went to Venezuela. We got Maduro. He's going to be going through the judicial system. So I did come across a couple of, like, these videos of our strikes when they were going after him. Look at that. Wow, yeah, I'd be ducking too. This is crazy, guys. And who else does this, you know?
I know.
I can hear she's scared up. Oh, there's the teams coming in. That's probably going to get him right there. There your chariot awaits.
¡Qué locura! Moscaí. Mira esa mierda, explotaron allá toda esa mierda porque tú me estás explotando.
A little closer up. I mean, it's dark, but... hey, Trump was right. It was very dark. Nice lights down here.
Mierda, marico, se prendió el peo en esta mierda, ¿oyó?
Yeah, those ships were sitting out there for fun.
Mamá, huevo, ¿qué mierda es esta?
And just look how surgical this is. I mean, from what we've seen in the news so far, these hits were like on their weapons, trying to hit our ships and intercept our missiles.
Amor, eso.
Look at this footage, guys. You know, though, Venezuela used to be so rich. I'm not sure if you guys have watched that show, Parks and Recreation, but they had a Venezuela delegation go to Pawnee, Indiana, and they were making fun of how poor we were as a nation, because they had so much oil money before this new regime came in and just, destroyed it. Let's see, what's this? Oh, more airstrike video. Bam. Well, guys, that's the sound of freedom right there. Whew. Uncle Sam knocking at the door. Oh, so here is the Venezuelan president coming off his chariot and into DEA custody. Oh, watch your head. That's the problem right now. By the way, it's cold in New York. You might want to buckle up. You're like Venezuela.
Good night. Good night. Happy New Year.
Yeah, I was looking at X on this thing. So, yeah, it seems to me like people are celebrating this in Venezuela. Wow. Because I'm sure they're tired of living like that, They got to remember a better time. Okay. Oh, this is a time. Well, I see officials out there. Looks like order is been restored. Like there's not, riots and looting as far as we can see here, anyways. Man, look at this. I think the people got their country back. We're going to have it back soon. That's good energy right there. I wish I was over there with those guns. So yeah, I was kind of looking into the whole idea, so how did Maduro get in power and things like that. So I just did a quick grok search, right? So he started as a bus driver, right? And so he became politically active in the labor movement and strongly supported Hugo Chavez. He served as a member of the National Assembly for years. He was appointed to foreign minister 2006 to 2013. October 2012, before Chavez's death, Maduro was named as vice president. So far it sounds like, he moved up properly as far as that goes. Becoming president. Hugo Chavez died of cancer March 5th, 2013. For his death, he designated Maduro as his preferred successor. So that would make him the interim president. Okay. So then they had a special election held on April 14th, and he won at about 50.6% vote against his opposition. Okay. And I think Chavez had some support, so I think if Chavez won Maduro in, most people went with that, right? But then he just ran the country into the ground completely. Maintaining power, 2013, 2025. Maduro won re-election in 2018 and again in 2024, though both elections were widely criticized internationally as neither free nor fair due to opposition boycotts, alleged fraud, suppression of rivals, and the lack of transparent vote counting. Kind of sounds like another election I heard of. Okay, so I guess this is what makes the current administration say, no, this guy is not legit. We don't agree with the scams, the fraud, and so we don't accept him as a legitimate president. Again, guys, this is a sticky situation with our international partners. Is the new policy going forward, if we don't like a leader, we remove him? He has to go. Do we hold the world accountable to American law? Or are we going to abide by international law? And so that's kind of the question, because right now it seems like, the current administration is basically saying, hey, American law trumps all others, right? So, and that's what we're held him to. So we indict him in America, we kidnap him, we bring him back for judgment. So I'm really curious to see tomorrow the UN Security Council and how all that goes. I go from there. So, guys, I'll be dropping a stream every day at 8 p.m. Reacting to news, current events, music, gaming, tech, you name it. Anything that you guys want me to react to, drop it in the comments. I'm also on TikTok as well, and I'll drop that here on the screen shortly. But that is all I got for now, guys. So until then, have a good night. Hex is out.